Jessie Woo, VBS. I just turn the water on. Big old flex. You never saw before. He's chasing me like waterfall. What's up, guys? It's your sister. Welcome to another episode of your favorite new podcast, Just a Couple Things by your sister, Jessie Woo. Thank you so much for joining me for another week. This is podcast episode, number 3, numero 3. Mind you, shout out to the Hispanics. It is Como la Flor. It's Como la Flor month, y'all. It is Hispanic Heritage Month. So shout out to all my Hispanics. Shout out to all my Latinos, okay? Anything for Selena's, period. What else is going on this month? It is Breast Cancer Month, okay? Make sure you check your breasts, all right? It is Black Women Check Your Black Titties Month, amen, amen. Make sure that our areolas are healthy and ready to go. What else? There's so much going on. But welcome back to another episode of Just a Couple Things Pod, hosted by your sister, Jessie Woo. Are you subscribed? Are you subscribed? Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, okay? Make sure you subscribe on every streaming platform where you can listen to podcasts. And of course, make sure that you subscribe right here on YouTube. Y'all, I hit 200,000 on YouTube. I think it was like a couple days ago. What should I do? How should I celebrate? I think I'm going to go down to Cracker Barrel. My man has been talking about going to the Cracker Barrel, child. He's from North Carolina. He's country, okay? Mr. Issa been talking about going down to the Cracker Barrel. I think we're going to go down to the Cracker Barrel and have them do paint $200K on a pancake for me so we can commemorate, and I'll come back and report to y'all live from Cracker Barrel. Or if y'all have any other suggestions, let me know. Set it off, you suggest. All right, let's go ahead and just get into just a couple things. Even though we're going to get into a lot of different things, but just a couple things. It is so much going on this week. It's so much going on this week, okay? So we're just going to get into just a couple things, all right? First things first. Jennifer Hudson and Common. How do y'all feel about Jennifer Hudson and Common? I came across this clip from the Jennifer Hudson show. Shout out to Jennifer Hudson. She is an EGOT, okay? And she has a very, very successful daytime television show. Now, her show is not really like too much my cup of tea. I think like Cheryl Shepherd is more my cup of tea. But even with Cheryl, I feel like everybody's kind of playing it safe in the daytime television realm right now. Like, this is why I really miss Wendy Williams. Like, Wendy Williams gave no fucks. Like, I really miss that tone of daytime television, or I at least miss somebody in that realm saying, okay, I don't give a damn. I'm going to give y'all what y'all came to hear. And so, but anyway, with all that being said, shout out to the Black women's doing it. Everybody's doing it, really. Even, what's the little girl from E.T.? Lord, what is her name, child? She be sitting so close to everybody on the couch, child. I can't remember her name right now, but it's not Demi Moore. It's Lord have mercy. What is that lady name? I love her. Hold on. Daytime TV host sitting too close. No, she had called Drew Barrymore. Do y'all remember when Drew Barrymore called Kamala Mamala? Ma'am. She was doing the most, but I actually really like Drew Barrymore. Who else? Kelly Clarkson. One thing about Kelly Clarkson, she gonna get y'all karaoke down. But it's really way better than karaoke because we do know, I mean, she is a supreme singer. But she gonna give y'all talk show host and Vegas Regency at the same damn time. It's just crazy. But yeah, Cheryl Shepherd is doing it right now. Jennifer Hudson, Tamron Hall. I really like Tamron Hall. Tamron Hall, she gonna ask the tough questions. But anyway, all that being said, shout out to the girls who's doing it. And even though some of them ain't doing it, they still doing it. Jennifer Hudson, she had Common on her show the other day, and I came across this clip.
I heard you've been even out there talking about marriage, Karen. What's that about?
I was saying my true feelings about if I should be married, it will be to Jennifer Kate Hudson.
So Jennifer Hudson, we all know that she's in a relationship with Common. So Common is on her show saying that, first she says, oh, so I hear you've been talking about marriage. You've been out there in your interviews talking about marriage. And he's like, well, I did say in my interviews, if I were to get married, that Jennifer Hudson would be the person I get married to. I thought this was just so damn dusty. Like, Common is 77 years old, okay? Like, Common is very seasoned. We've seen Common go through so many relationships in the entertainment space, from the Erykah Badu's to the Angela Rye's to the Tiffany Haddish's. Like, and now we have Jennifer Hudson, and I think they've been dating for the past 2 years. If at the tender age of 89, this man has not gotten married yet, and here he is on your show, you are an EGOT, ma'am. Like, you are an EGOT. Okay, like, if there were tiers to Common's dating, Jennifer Hudson would literally be at the top tier. Okay, like, and he's still saying if I were to get, if only you knew. No. Common is 117 years old. Please stop letting him play in your face, Jennifer. Please, like, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up immediately. Okay? What's next? Did you guys see the breakup between DDG and Halle? Are we surprised? Are we surprised? Surprise! 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 We're not surprised. We're not surprised. Leave a comment if you're surprised. I'm not surprised. DDG did release a statement announcing their breakup, and this came coincidentally after that clip of him and Halle at the Usher concert. Please put that clip up right here so the audience can see. When Usher went to put that damn cherry in Halle's mouth, DDG was not happening. Okay? I said happening. DDG was not having it. Okay? ABC snatched up them damn cherries so damn fast. XYZ was not having it. So UVY did release a statement online announcing his breakup to Halle, and the statement read as follows: "Dear friends and supporters, after much reflection and heartfelt conversations, Halle and I have decided to go our separate ways. This decision was not easy, but we believe it's the best path forward for both of us. I cherish the time we've spent together and the love we've shared. Despite the changes in our relationship, our love for each other remains deep and true. We are still best friends and adore each other. As we focus on our individual journeys and our roles as co-parents, we cherish the bond we've built and the beautiful moments we've shared as we navigate this transition. We ask for your understanding and support. Thank you for your love and encouragement, DDG." This was so crusty. Why did he feel the need to run to the internet and tell us this? You can tell it's not a joint statement because it says DDG. So you can tell he probably had a conversation with Halle, and Halle was like, yo, like, I'm tired of you going to the internet and sharing every little piece of what the fuck we got going on. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. She quietly scrubbed his Instagram of all his pictures. And you know what else this made me think? Well, first of all, drop down in the comments and let me know if you ever thought that CDF should have been with Halle. It never gave he was good enough to be with Halle. Like, never gave that. Never gave that. Never gave that. I always felt that she just was really just too good. Not only too good for him, but Halle do got a little hood in her. But it always felt that it always gave she was too good for him. But also, the girl is a Disney princess. At the time that they kind of go public with their, well, actually, no, they went public with their relationship, I believe, as she was filming. And even while she was filming, he was always getting caught up in some strange things. First of all, he got caught up sliding in, what's that little girl's DM that just said Drewski hired her for publicity? It was never a real relationship. Ruby Rose. He was caught slipping and dipping into Ruby Rose. He was caught saying stupid things about, like, racism and slavery and stuff like that. And then, like, her pregnancy, like, was kind of, well, she didn't announce it, but it was discovered that she was pregnant as Little Mermaid was about to drop. Like it just was not good. And I think that a Disney princess, she could have done way, way better. Now, I don't know him personally. I don't know what his personality is like. I don't know who he is, as a genuine person offline. But one thing I always, always did not like was the urgency he had to come to the internet and constantly put their baby all over the internet. Like there are so many memes with that baby all over the internet. And I just always thought that was very weird. I thought it was weird how he had this baby who was like 3 or 4 months old at the time. He showed a barber coming in and giving the baby a tape. Like it just was so freaking weird. Like it was weird. And I mean, how do we feel about this breakup? Am I the only one who's... I'm doing a church clap. Like, thank God. Thank God. Like, I hope she moves on and I hope she focuses on herself, her baby, her career, and that her next relationship is with someone that is actually worth being with her, because it's so sad. Like, this girl, like Halle Bailey, she could do 10 times better. What else, child? It's so much going on. John Amos died last week. Damn. John Amos died last week. And the craziest thing I saw pop up at first was this post on Facebook. This is insane. I actually, this is a screenshot that I took from the post because I couldn't believe it was real. Mr. Issa sent it to me and I was like, no, there's no way that this is real. It's a picture of a young lady with John Amos. Looks like a pretty recent picture. And the picture says, R.I.P. to a legend, John Amos. Remember I put this pussy on you so good this day, you could barely move. Now he went out swinging. This is so disrespectful, but I believe her. Drop down in the comments. Let me know if you think he went out swinging too. I believe her. The way he's sitting down, like, that man really went out swinging. I believe it. Damn. Y'all think John Amos gave a head? I'm sorry, wait. I can't even get it out. Do y'all think John Amos gave her that damn dick, like, before he passed? I know I'm going to hell for that one. Oh, Lord. What's even crazier about John Amos dying is apparently his daughter didn't know that he died until his son released the statement of his death online. So his daughter had no idea that her father had passed away until the internet. So she learned just how we all learned. And then she's suspecting foul play. And also apparently his will was changed right before he died. Like, what's going on? This is insane. How would you feel if your father died and you didn't know until everybody else found out online? Like I know we've seen this happen with famous people, but this happens with everyday people too. Like, have y'all ever found out that like a family member that you were either to parent or like a family member that you were really close with died, like when everybody else found out they died, like in the group chat or on a Facebook post? Like, it's pretty insane. Somebody would have to see about me. Somebody would come see about me. Somebody would have to catch hands. I'm sorry. What else happened this week, y'all? Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan. Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan. Here is a clip.
because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
How the fuck did we get here? No, seriously. How the fuck did we get here? How did we get here to where you have Piers Morgan inviting Jaguar Wright on his show so that she could basically say that Jay-Z is next? Jay-Z and Beyonce have kidnapped thousands. I seen it. Do you know why the song cries? It's because Beyonce cried. She cried right before she put Aaliyah on that plane. She died. Why do we have this lunatic going on Piers Morgan? Why do we have this lady, like, why is she even being allowed to speak on these things? And you know what's crazy? When I saw that she was on Piers Morgan, I was just like, this is insane, because I know of several people who have tried to sue Jaguar Wright, but they can't because she has no address. So how is it that she's making it on a show like Piers Morgan? Like, how are they getting in contact with her? I mean, I'm assuming, Instagram or social media or whatever, but okay, where are they picking her up from? Like, there has to be a way to still serve this lady, because if she's able to get on the Piers Morgan show, like, there has to be a way to serve this lady a lawsuit. She is on Piers Morgan spewing all types of ridiculousness, and I understand that it's good for, like, entertainment, but do y'all believe Jaguar Wright when she be saying this type of stuff? Like, she always knew. She always knew about this, about that. And this is why her career didn't happen, because she wouldn't sell her soul to the devil. And let her tell it, everybody who is successful in the music business sold their soul to the devil. I don't know. It's just so weird. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of evil things do happen in the music industry. But I mean, I know from personal experience, but I think that Jaguar Wright is like a schizophrenic, someone who's actually like not healthy, and we're putting her on these platforms. And what does that get us? Like, what happens? And then of all platforms, Piers Morgan, ain't you over there? Ain't you supposed to be harassing the royals? Why are you over here in our business? Like, why are you in hip hop business? Ain't you supposed to be down there like harassing the royals and all that? And King Charles, didn't King Charles lose like 2 testicles last year? He had to have 1 testicle replaced, and he barely holding on to the throne. And you got, Prince William, whose hairline starts from behind his ears, and you got Princess Kate, poor thing, she battling what she battling, and you ain't you supposed to be over there in them people business? Why are you over here in Rock Nation business? What is happening? Let's move on. Speaking of evil things happening in the entertainment space, child, Diddy's mother released a statement. Now, the last time we talked about Diddy, we did talk about the fact that his lawyer had accused Costco of selling Diddy them 1,000 bottles of baby oil. 1,000 bottles of baby oil on the wall, thousands of bottles of baby oil. He had accused Costco of selling baby oil to Diddy by the thousands. Costco then comes out and says, now how we get in it? We don't even sell baby oil. I'm sorry, you would have to get a pink slip after that. How are you a high power attorney? And that's me being very nice. I don't know what, other high power cases he's had. But how are you an attorney representing a billionaire who is accused of having freak-offs powered by baby oil? And you don't make sure that the company that you are associating the baby oil sales with, you don't make sure that that company actually sells baby oil before you sit down with TMZ and tell TMZ that he got them 1,000 bottles of baby oil from Costco. Fired. Immediately. Fired. You fired. Fired. He also said that Diddy can't wait to hit the stand and tell his side of everything. I'm like, oh my God. This lawyer is actually complete trash. This lawyer is actually complete trash. Like, I'm not an attorney, but I've watched so many Dateline episodes, 2020 episodes to let you know this is not it. This is not it. Having Diddy on the stand for this case is actually not it. You do not want Diddy on that stand. You do not want Diddy on that stand. You know who else you don't want on that stand? Diddy's mama. Diddy's mama, who, remember, he forked over her passport, them kids' passport, baby love's passport. He gave his everybody passport. If Diddy had your passport, baby, he threw that over to the FBI, to the federales, and he was like, here go everybody passport. The fact that he gave baby love passport, I think baby love just turned 1, like a couple months back. That girl has not seen the world yet. Okay? He gave the federales her damn passport. This man is diabolical. But anyway, his mama released a statement just last night, y'all. This is her statement. Janice Smalls Combs, the mother of Sean Combs, through her undersigned counsel and on the behalf of the Combs family, releases the following statement. I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son. Girl, shut up. Let me get through the statement, but I feel like I'm going to interrupt a couple times. Like, girl, shut up, please. Sean Combs, it is heartbreaking to see my son judged, not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies. Girl, them green contacts you wear that is lies. Like, girl, are you okay? I can't take that. Like, have y'all seen Sean's mom before? Sean, Puff Daddy, Diddy, P Love, Dr. Love, Brother Love, Combs. Have y'all ever seen his mother? To bear witness that seems to be like a public lynching of my son before he has had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court, to finally share his side and to prove his innocence. I am not here to portray my son as perfect because he is not. He has made mistakes in his past, as we all have. Girl, we have not all sex trafficked, okay? We have not all had baby oil freak-offs, all right? We have not all held people against their will. We have not all drugged people, okay? Drugged people and then drugged them down hotel lobby or hotel room hallways, okay? Girl, don't group us all. Don't put us in the group, baby. Don't put us in the group. My son may have not been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when the hotel surveillance showed otherwise. Sometimes a truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when that truth is outside the norm or is too complicated to be believed. I ain't reading the rest of this shit. This lady crazy as fuck. Put her in jail too. Put Janice, her blonde wig, them green contacts in jail. Whoa, 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 whoa. Jail. Put her in jail. Put her in jail. Put Janice in jail too. Your son is a monster. Point blank period. My son is not the monster he's being portrayed to be. Yes, he is. Your son is a monster. That blonde wig is a monster. Okay, you've been wearing that blonde wig since 1933. Put Janice, that blonde wig, and them green contacts in jail too, and put baby love in jail too. Put all them kids in jail. Abby Shore's son, you need to go back to your daddy. Go back to your daddy. Them twins, put them somewhere with Kim Porter's friends and her family members. But everybody else, jail, prison, 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 prison. Everybody else go to jail. Lil Diddy, put him in jail too. Put him and his Harlem shaking shoulders in jail. Put everybody in jail. Here's the thing with mothers like Janice, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, Brother Love, Combs' mama, is she's an enabler. We all know mothers like this, especially when it comes to their son. My son would never, my son would never. Your son did, and you knew he did it. You was there. You probably packed up the baby oil for all we know, Miss Janice. Okay? These mothers be such enablers of their sons. It's actually sickening. And then they expect us to feel sorry for their sons. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It was all good when you was on them red carpets and when you were benefiting from your son's riches. Now you want to, oh, my son. Fuck you and your son. Jail immediately. Jail immediately. Jail. I don't want to hear it. Jail immediately. What else has happened? Did y'all see that this came out of nowhere to me? Garth Brooks. Hold on now. Hold on just a couple things. Garth Brooks has a lawsuit. Garth Brooks is being accused of essay and battery in a lawsuit from hair and makeup artists who worked for him. This complaint was filed in state court in California last week. In a statement to CNN later on Thursday, Brooks said, for the past 2 months, I have been hassled to no end with threats, lies, and tragic tales of what my future would be if I did not write a check for my many millions. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Isn't that the same song that Diddy was singing? Mind you, Diddy wrapped things up with Cassie within 24 hours, okay? But then he released a video following when the footages of the hotel were released, admitting to, oh, I was in a bad place. It's the same song. It's the same song. Oh, I'm a victim. They was trying to get me to pay them a bag. Did you do it, though? One thing about me, I don't give a damn. Did you do it? Did you do it? I hate when people say, oh, well, what's the point of the victims coming out now? They just want money. Well, do y'all know how the law is set up? DV, SA, all those things, like, look it up. It's hard for these criminals to actually pay. And a lot of times when you have a lot of money, like, you don't pay really. You're in and out of prison just like that. And the victim gets nothing. The victim actually gets public harassment, public embarrassment, nothing to show for it, nothing to show for their pain, nothing to show for reliving their pain when they're on trial. The victim actually is on trial as well as the abuser. Like, baby, I don't care. Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? It's never, I did not do it. No. It's always, oh, I didn't do it and they tried to get me to pay them. No, did you do it? Yes or no? That's where I stand, child. Not Garth Brooks, though. Not Garth Brooks. Child, it's a lot going on. Let's get into today's story time, child. So this story time is actually brought on by a clip that I came across with Oprah. So Oprah was doing an interview not too long ago, and she was talking about friendship. Like, we all know her and Gayle are besties. They are the best of friends. They are the best of friends. And there was this clip where she talked about jealousy, and I wanted to repost it because it's actually been like circulating on my threads, and let me just play the clip.
You can't really be friends with anybody who has a hint of jealousy about anything that you're doing. You have to distance yourself or you have to cut that thing off.
Do y'all agree with that you can't be friends? Let me get comfortable, child. Cause we're gonna get into just a couple things in this story time. But Do y'all agree with that? That you can't be friends with somebody who is jealous of you? I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. However, I keep seeing this clip being reposted a lot on my threads, and I'm just like, while I agree with this, I think a lot of y'all be thinking y'all friends be jealous of y'all, and they don't. Like, some people just really walk around thinking that everybody is jealous of them. She wanted what I had. She wanted what I had. Oh my God. She wasn't a real friend. She always wanted what I had. Oh, look at her. Like, now she wants to be an influencer like I am. Look at her. Now she wants to start a podcast because I started a podcast. Oh, she wants to sell hair because I was selling hair. That's not always the case. I do feel like some people are just, y'all are weird. Like, some of y'all want to be the only person in the room to be able to say that you're doing XYZ. Can we call a thing a thing? Some of y'all just don't like seeing other people elevate. And that's a problem. It's not a jealous friends problem. It's actually a you thing. You're actually the weirdo in this equation. Because if you're doing well and you have a friend in your life who wants to do well just like you're doing well, why do you see that as jealousy? Why is that jealousy to you? I think that's pretty weird. But anyway, that clip, of course, you know, Oprah's talking about her and Gayle. And I mean, I feel like so many of us look at Oprah and Gayle's friendship as a good example of a friendship. They've been friends for decades, like 50 years, 40 years. And they they hang tough. Like, I even remember during the coronavirus when we was on lockdown, I think Oprah kicked Stedman out, didn't she? And was Gayle in the house with her? I think Oprah had put Stedman in the guest house, and Gayle was able to come inside the house with her. I fact check me on that. I can't remember, if I might be wrong, but anywho, it did have me think about a certain friendship that I had. Now, I don't think I've ever had a jealous friend, but I definitely had a friend who it took me a while to realize that this person actually hated my guts. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you have ever been friends with someone that actually hated your guts. I think a lot of us have been here and we just didn't realize it. It took us a minute. So for me, I haven't had a best friend in probably 10 years. I will never have a best friend again. Like, I don't like the term best friend. I think best friend, to me, this experience that I'm about to share, it really just ruined the concept of having a best friend to me. And it just told me, yeah, best friends is just something that I don't ever need to have again. So I was friends with someone and they were my best friend for years. And I really, really opened up to this person. And I think I opened up to this person a lot because growing up, it was hard for me to make friends like in grade school. I felt like I always had to go out of my way to make friends. And the way I would make friends was like singing or like, you know, doing stuff with my talent that would get me attention with other people. Like, oh, shoot, you know how to sing? Oh, you know how to do this, or you know how to do that? You know how to write? You know how to, like, whatever talents, or, oh, you know how to dance? Like, whatever talents I had, I would use my talent to bargain friendship. And in grade school, even up until like high school, I got bullied a lot. Like, high school actually was the worst time of my life. I remember going into high school, I had a boyfriend in 8th grade. Like, and that summer before going to high school was such a great summer. And then we get to high school and I started getting bullied a lot. I was bullied for the way I looked. Like, I would get called ugly. I would get called gremlin. I would get called charcoal. Like, I would get called a lot of different things that were rooted in colorism and featureism. And he just saw me getting bullied and kind of was just like, yeah, you're not really it. Like, so I'm going to like not talk to you. Like, he just went cold on me. Like, I remember there was one time after school, I was walking to like the bus, I think, and I could hear like just the snickering and the teasing. And I just remember looking over and seeing him snickering along with like the girls who were teasing me. And like, it just really broke my heart. So high school was just really hard for me. And I remember leaving high school and seeing everybody connect. And I remember thinking, man, I cannot wait to leave this shit. I cannot wait to not see y'all. Like, everybody was talking about like what colleges they were going to go to together. And I was just like, I cannot wait to not ever see you bitches again. And you bitch ass niggas again. Like, I just could not fucking wait. Like, I was over high school. It was literally like the darkest time in my life, like in my upbringing, darkest time in my life. So anyway, going into college, it was tough for me to make friends too, because I wasn't really, I didn't live on campus. I was working, going to school, and then also pursuing music. Like, I was in the studio all the time, trying to pursue my dreams. So I didn't really have a college clique either. Like, I had people I was cool with, but they were all in the dorms. So it's kind of like I just was like in limbo for a minute. And then I remember going to this call center that everybody was working at in Miami. It was called IRT. I think, was it IRT or PRC? It was PRC call center. And I remember the training class that I had. I was in a training class, and there was these like 3 girls that were cool, and I was like kind of like on the outskirts. Like, you know, again, like I just was always like by myself. And so they embraced me. Like, I don't remember like what the first conversation was like, but they embraced me, and I got really close to 2 of them. And the 2 that I got really close to, they were already best friends. But one of them, we'll just call her, what we gonna call her? Let's call her Monica. Monica, oh Monica. Let's call her Monica. Monica and I got really, really close. So Monica and I were both Haitian, and we just hit it off. Like, we were both Haitian, and we realized that we both had went to the same school, but we were not in the same class. She was older than me, but like we just hit it off. And I hit it off with her circle of friends, to be honest. But her and I specifically hit it off. And so anyway, we're cool. And like I said at the time, I was pursuing music. And there were just a couple things in the beginning that were kind of weird. But I was like, you know what? Maybe this is just like what friendship comes with, because like, again, I was not really used to having like a circle of friends or like a really like best friend. And her and I became like best friends. So in the beginning, I remember I had this song that I was on. It was called Wham. Come and wham with me. I was on the hook. I wrote the hook. And the song was by really a up-and-coming DJ at the time in Miami. And the song was called Wham That Thing. Wham, wham, wham that thing. Wham, wham, wham that thing. And I didn't get the credit for the song. The producer that I did it with, not the actual DJ, but the producer that I did it with, we're cool now, so I'm not going to say his name. But the producer I did it with, he didn't give me my credit. And I would actually take Monica to the studio with me sometimes. And he didn't give me my credit. But the song is kind of like taken off. And before you know it, me and him fall out, but Monica starts dating him. And I'm like, well, since you're dating him now, like, can you kind of like talk to him about like the song? Like, I'm not getting I'm not getting anything for it. Like, you know what I mean? Then there was supposed to be like a video shoot that was coming up for it. And like, she told me that she would talk to him or whatever, but it would always be like, oh, well, you know what? Since I'm with him now, you know, I'm gonna talk to him for. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to him for you. I'm gonna talk to him for you. But nothing would ever come of it. Then I remember I started working with this other producer. I don't know where this guy is at now, but he was a big producer at the time, Gorilla Tech, huge producer in Miami at the time. He would work with like Flo Rida, like he did like stuff with all the big like stars like in Miami. And he and I were working, and we never had a fallout, but he and I were working, and again, like I would take her to the studio with me from time to time, and all of a sudden, like she started dating him too. And it kind of like, he and I never had a fallout, but like we kind of had this thing where our work relationship kind of disseminated because like it kind of became like a her and him thing. Then there was this other incident where I think the Wham video comes back up. And again, like I didn't get anything for it, but I get a hold of the Wham video. She's in the video. This is my best friend at the time, my best friend. And I'm just like, I didn't get no credit for this, but here you are, like, in the video. It just is weird. I don't know if it was the Wham video or it was, like, another song that I did with someone and I didn't get credit for it. But anyway, she pops up in a video for a song that I did not get credit for. And it would always be a thing like, well, you know, I'm modeling and, you know, I'm doing this, you know, I'm doing that. So it's like, you know, you have your hustle, I have mine. And I felt like, okay, well, I don't want to like damper her hustle. I don't want to come off like I'm jealous or I'm mad that she's climbing up. So let me just like relax, I guess. So I don't know. So I let all these things go. And a couple years go by and stuff like this like kind of kept happening. But in the friend group, it was always, well, you know, Monica, like, you know, Monica. So everybody knew basically like how Monica was in the friend group. And some of you have followed me or know of me because of that clip that you've seen of me on Love and Hip Hop Miami, where I talk about my essay experience and I talk about how my friend left me alone in that situation. Monica was that friend. Monica was that friend. And, you know, in the scene, you don't really hear me tell the story in depth. But basically, this was a producer that I had been working with for a while. And when I look back, because this producer also went to jail and had a string of essay accusations against him that came to pass later on. But when I look back at that relationship, she was someone who I would bring to the studio with me all the time too. And just so you guys understand, like when you're a woman and you're going to the studio, you don't want to go by yourself. And I tend to have a very like, when I'm in the studio, when I'm in like workspaces, I don't fuck around a lot. Like I don't talk a lot like that, especially like in the in that space, because a lot of weird stuff happens like in the music industry. And so she was somebody who was more outspoken than me. When I look back, I should have brought other friends, not her. Because behind my back, she started a romantic relationship with this producer. And this producer actually was gunning for me. And so I don't even want to tell the whole details of what happened that day, but let's just say she wanted to be the center of attention. And so she became the center of attention. And her way of doing that was leaving me alone. And when I kept telling her, like, don't go, it was like, girl, why you hating? And why you doing this? And why you doing that? And then I have a bunch of guys like, yeah, why you hating? You know, like, it just was so weird. And that led to me having the experience that I had. Through all those things, I still stayed friends with her. I still maintained a friendship with her. And I think it was because we hit it off so well. She understood me. She never judged me. Like, I remember at one time, me and my mom were going through it, and I'm in college at the time. I'm staying at home, and me and my mom were going through it. And I was so close with her, not only her, but her family, that her mom literally was like, Jessica, come stay with us. Like, come stay with us. Literally. Like, and Monica came and helped me pack my stuff, and I went to go stay with her and her mom and her sister and her father for a while. So it just was not an easy friendship for me to be like, I have to let this go, because like, while all this weird stuff was happening, she loved me. Like, I felt like she really, really loved me. And I had never felt that in a friend before. She loved me. Like, if I needed anything, she was there. If I needed to cry, she was there. If I needed money and she had it, she gave it to me. Like, the shirt off her back, she would give me. And so even though she kind of was part of the reason why I had an SA experience, even though she's not my assaulter, don't get me wrong, don't get my words twisted, but leaving your friend alone with a bunch of men is, you know what I mean? So anyway, years later, we're still friends. And in the friend group, people are kind of dropping off, like they're kind of dropping off like one by one, like flies. And there was a lot of dissension in the group, and she oftentimes would be the center of that. And so years later, I'm in a relationship. I'm in a como la flor relationship, child, with this Puerto Rican. He was so fine. And he was the type of man who, first of all, if you've never dated a Puerto Rican, get you a Puerto Rican. Now, I'm betrothed, okay? I am betrothed to be with a wonderful Black American king, okay? But if you've never ever gotten on a Puerto Rican ride you a Puerto Rican. But I was with a Puerto Rican for a little minute, and one thing about my Puerto Rican, he was the type of man, if I was out with my friends and he was pulling up, he'd pay for everything. Like, we having dinner, he paying. We at the movies, he paying. We popping bottles, he paying. And there was one night where we was down to iguanas. Iguanas was like a staple back then in Miami. It was actually in Pembroke Pines, but iguanas. And we were in iguanas, and one thing about my Puerto Rican, he'd get drunk though. Puerto Ricans love Coronas, okay? He would throw them damn Coronas and vodka, just throw it back one by one, throw it back. So he gets fucked up, and so now I'm like, okay, we got to get him out. We got to get him out of here. And as we're walking out, I'm holding him, and this other girl that was in the friend group, she's holding him, and we're walking out of the club. And I'm like, damn, babe, I might have to ask my mama if you could come stay with us tonight. And she was like, no, he could come stay with us. Like, and then like me and our other friends are looking at each other, and we're looking at her, and Monica's like, yeah, like he could come spend the night at my house. Like, my mama don't care. Like, he comes spend the night with me. Like, what? Like, what is happening? What is happening? And so that was like where things kind of took a turn for me. And you know what's crazy? Even before that incident, because I know some of y'all are like, the SA incident didn't take a turn for you, Jessie. It was that one. I don't know what it was about that particular incident, but I think maybe because it was years later, and I was just like, okay, like, you're still being fucking weird. And you know what's crazy? Years before that, literally before the SA incident, I was dating this guy, this Haitian dude, and how we met was our friend groups kind of linked up. And some of us knew his brother, because his brother, I believe, went to our school, but before we did. And then I met him, and I don't know, we just all kind of started linking up. So he and I are in a serious relationship for like a good 10 months. Like, and baby, it was a whirlwind. Like, if you ever been in a relationship with a Haitian man, baby, it is Six Flags. Okay. It was a whirlwind. But anyway, so he and I have a fallout and we break up. And in the midst of our breakup, her and I have like a fallout with each other and we're upset at each other. Do you know this girl started like working out with him at his house? Which was something I never knew him to do when I was with him. Like, I would be at his house all the time. I would spend the night with him all the time. Like, no, she starts working out with him. He starts being her trainer. It just was the weirdest thing. So fast forward years later, when I got to my Puerto Rican, I don't know what it was about the Puerto Rican, but I was like, enough. Enough. Like, things really, really took a turn. So anyway, I feel like things took a turn and I kind of just started distancing myself. But we were still pretty close because by that time, she had a daughter. And I became her daughter's godmother. So it wasn't just her. It was my goddaughter. It was her family. Like, it just wasn't just her. But as the years went by, just a lot of weird things happened. And I just decided that I just had enough. And I just had distanced myself. And then fast forward to 2017, I was living in New York. I was dead broke. This is like around the time when I started building my platform and I started making my content. And I get a phone call that Monica's mom died. And it was crazy because before I had left Miami, we had all found out that her mother had cancer. But her mother was taking it in stride. Like, I was seeing her mother all the time. I was there all the time. And her mother just seemed to be doing well. And so I guess from the time that I left, and like I said, I had already started distancing myself, but we were still cool. So I get a call from like a friend of a friend of a friend. Monica's mom died. And I'm like, what? I was broken. Because like her mom was like my mom. Like, I loved her mother. Like, her mother, like I told you earlier, when I was on the outs with my mother, her mother was the one who actually offered her house to me and said, you can come live with us. Like, your mama tripping, come live with us, you know? And her mom was Haitian, like my mom. It was like having another Haitian mom, you know? And so I call Monica and I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm so sorry. And apparently, like, her mom had been died. Like, I'm finding this out probably like a week later. And so I'm really, really sorry. Like, what can I do? Do you know when, like, I'm sorry to ask you this, but do you know when the funeral is going to be? And she tells me that the funeral is going to happen, but she doesn't know the actual date just yet. They're still working things out. And I'm like, okay, like, just keep me posted. And I keep checking in on her. And do you know, the funeral happened and she never told me. Never told me. I asked like twice. I asked on the phone, then I text her a couple times and, oh yeah, I'm going to keep you posted. I'm going to keep you posted. And at the time I was in New York, I was dead broke. And I had scrubbed like a couple dollars together because I was going to go back. She had the funeral and didn't tell me. I didn't find this out until probably a week after the funeral. Monica's cousin, who I was also close with, calls me. And she's like, I wasn't going to say nothing, but like, she kind of calls me like to check me. Like, how could you like not come to the funeral with everything like that Monica's mom did for you or whatever? And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Like, I asked. Like, here's the proof. Like, I asked and everything. Like, and she's like, that's crazy because at the funeral, Monica was telling everybody that you ain't shit, that you didn't show up, that you didn't care to come to the funeral, that she told you everything and you just didn't care. I was shocked. Like, even as I'm telling the story right now, like, I'm like, I was shocked. I was so shocked. That's when I realized Monica hated me. And she had always hated me. I just never wanted to accept it because simultaneously, she was so good to me. She loved me. Like, she loved me. But how could somebody that I love like that not invite me or not tell me about her mother's funeral? Her mother, who was like essentially my mother, she kept that away from me. And that's when I made the decision I would never speak to Monica again. I would never speak to her again. Never. Never, ever, ever, ever. And throughout the years following that, it was so weird because when I started doing my Haitian content and my comedic content, Monica started doing the same thing. And she had never reached out to me, but there was a time when the Haitian community was dragging me and I had made like some jokes that they didn't like. What's new? And there was one time when it was really, really bad. And that's when she actually reached out to me. Oh, I see what's going on. I see how people are talking about you. And I just wanted to reach out to you to see if you were okay. And that to me was confirmation that she hated my guts because I had done such wonderful things. Like I had done numerous things before then. I had been on Love and Hip Hop. I had released music. I had done so many things. And she had never reached out to me for any of the good. But the moment she saw that these people were dragging me for filth, that's when she reached out to me. And that to me was confirmation that Monica hated my guts. And I just would often think to myself, when did this start happening? Like when did she start hating me? When did she start hating me? And as I tell this story, I want to ask you, like, if you've ever been in a situation where you realize, well, have you ever been? Have y'all ever been? Have any of you ever been in a situation where you were friends with someone that hated your guts? When did you realize that that person hated your guts? And I know some of y'all are listening to this and you're like, it took you that long to realize this girl hated your guts? Yes, it did. It did. It took me years to realize this woman hated me. She hated my guts. Anyway, I posted on my community tab and I asked some of you guys to share your stories with me. And this segment I'm going to call I Suggest. Okay, there's a song that I got this idea from my friend Ray. He was watching one of my videos. What's up, Ray? He was watching one of my videos. His name is Ray Love. And I had said something about suggesting something. And I was like, set it off, I suggest. Set it off, I suggest. And he was like, actually, you should take that jingle and make that the segment. I suggest. And that's where people write to you. And you give them feedback. And that would be your suggest. Your suggestion. So I did ask some of you guys to share with me some stories, and I have one that I would like to share in this week's I Suggest. Okay, and just so you guys know, when you guys are going to send me your I Suggest, I will always keep your name private. I will never, ever actually say who the I Suggest is from, okay, just so you know. But this first letter, so this I Suggest goes like this. Hey, Jessie girl. College days bring out the most out of a person, so I'll tell you my story on how it went down. I don't know how you may take this, but I had a one-time fling with a guy before I went to enroll at the same college a year later that he was attending at the time. So I become friends with this girl during the school orientation process, and we seem to have the same interests and a lot in common. So we click so well, honestly. But fast forward to some months, and the school's campus flooded, which flooded the dorms and student buildings. So knowing I was friends with her and she was from out of town and she's basically going to the school in my city, I allow her to stay with my mom and I. Is your name Monica? I'm just kidding. I allow her to stay with my mom and I. During the time they fixed the campus, instead of living in the hotels, they put the students in for the time being. Now, let's make a time jump to me getting pregnant during summer break. I had ended up on campus with her after a year of the campus flooding, so we lived in a dorm room together. But I ended up back to my mom's because I got pregnant and had my child. So my campus bestie ended up with a new bestie, and they also linked up with my fling from 2 years ago. Wait a minute. So her bestie had a new bestie, and they also linked up with my fling from 2 years ago. Okay, now before you make conclusions, I didn't have any feelings or want him after that one time of hooking up with him. But the thing was, for me, was I was hanging with my campus bestie and the new friend as well. I ended up getting to know her as well, but I didn't think anything of it for the two besties to link up with my fling and then flirt with him around me intentionally. Girl, this is crazy. Now, before you assume I was jealous, I'm not assuming that you was jealous. She says, before you assume I was jealous, it was very far from it. I was already in a relationship at the time, but the thing is, it's the principle of the matter. I agree, girl. Things went from the new bestie flirting with him in my face, slapping each other on the butt, texting and calling, and also her singing, "He's mine, but you might have had him once." I go, he's mine. You might have had him once, but I got him all the time. She was singing the song around me all the time. So I'm like, okay, this is getting weird. I've had enough of the subtle passive aggression towards me, and it built up once we were sitting and playing Uno, and the guy I was with at one time, let's call him Country K. Lord have not Country. That's an interesting choice of a name. Let's call him Country K. Said something about it out loud about me in front of everyone in the game room on campus, and I slapped him with my Uno cards I had in my hand and dipped off campus back home. I really exploded and let things get to me, but it's the principle about everything. I wouldn't mess with her exes or even a guy they did anything with and intentionally, emotionally manipulate them on that. Like, my campus bestie even asked me one time beforehand if it was okay for him to be hanging out with us, and she already knew ahead of time how I felt about him and how he treated me when we were together in the past. Like, if you know it's wrong, honey, why ask me that question? It's been weird since then, to be honest. The friendship didn't feel genuine at all since that happened, and I no longer associate myself with her or them. The whole situation at the time felt so subtle, shady and messy and intentional. The besties K and K were giggling and laughing secretly to themselves a lot, and I knew then I had to remove myself from that. Now I no longer put myself in situations where I'll have to choose my sanity or be a people pleaser. That's pretty insane. Yeah, your best friend definitely hated you. And I was going to say that I was going to suggest that you no longer put yourself in a situation like that, but I'm glad that you let her go. Damn, this is crazy. It's crazy how these types of things happen to so many of us and how flagrant it is, like, on the other person's part for you to do that. I don't know. But anyway, if you have my best friend hated my guts story, feel free to drop down in the comment section and share it with me. But that's all for today's episode. That is the story time. That's the I Suggest. Those were just a couple things. Feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on the just a couple things that we discussed during this episode. Make sure that you're following just a couple things. Make sure that you subscribe. Also, leave me 5 stars because I'm a 5-star bitch, okay? 5-star me, okay? 5-star me immediately. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. I'm your sister, Jessie Woo. This has been another episode of Just a Couple Things. Take care of yourselves and each other. I will see you next time. Bye.